Check, check. Sorry, I was calibrating the windpipes there. How is everyone doing? I hope it is well. I hope you are safe and secure wherever you are joining us from. I am, of course, Pruitt, and this is the Fabulous Foursome. I don't know, we're just workshopping that right now, but we'll get around, see how everybody likes it, take suggestions for the name, and then we'll get to a recap of heretofore, as this is the penultimate episode of Symbaroum, Eyes in the Dark. First off, though, we need to get to some sponsors, which those sponsors are Tabletop Loot. If you go to tabletoploot.com and use the code WebDM15, you can get 15% off all your dice, mugs, and t-shirts, and all those things that make you feel like a good RPG nerd. So go on over to tabletoploot.com, WebDM15. It'll get you 15% off. And now, a message from Dungeon Fog. Heading on over to Dungeon Fog will get you some insane maps with a lot, like 3,000 options, Emma? More added every month. It's insane.
It's a whole lot.
So if you want your VTT experience to be turned to 11, head on over to Dungeon Fog. We don't have a code for that, but they're good people. See if you like them or not. Let's go around to cast and crew, see how everybody likes the evening thus far, and what are they hoping for in this part one of the finale of Symbaroum. I'm going to start with Emma.
Oh, hi.
I just pointed at the screen.
Okay. What's the question? And
how you doing tonight? Who you playing? And what you looking forward to at the since this is near the end of the game there?
Yes, I'm good. I'm very tired for no good reason this week. Which happens to me frequently. And I'm good, and I'm also still coming off of the high/panic attack of being raided by Matt Colville last week.
Awesome.
And I'm super happy to be here. I'm playing Sweetums. Sweetums is sweet baby ogre baby, and I play him in this game, and I'm excited for things to happen. I kind of secretly I kind of want everybody to die, but not this time. Maybe next time, please.
Maybe.
Yes.
We'll see. Next up, from his horn mug to your ears, Billy, how are you this evening?
I'm dandy. I'm the best. This is the best day ever. But this game here makes it the bestest, because everything else pales in comparison. Because this is the fun. This is what I'm living for right now, and I am having a ball. I love everyone in this group. Almost said everyone overall, but just in this group. I'm really looking forward to it. I kind of have an idea of what to expect, but then I think too much into it, and then I have no idea what to expect. And Unjala is very critical about some stuff and not at all about other stuff. So this is going to be interesting for him to see if he may or may not make it out alive.
Oh, shit. That was my bad.
Nothing is your bad. It was the internet gremlins.
No, Zoom, since they changed the little button, it's inside the bigger button, and so I hit stop, and I'm sorry.
I did that last week.
I just wanted a virtual background, and I ruined everything.
Well, I still love you, and you're still one of my favorite people.
Oh,
thanks. You're my Aurora Borealis, because of the background. All right. I'm done.
Dude, you're
for tonight.
Terrible, awful.
See you guys. Is there such a thing as voluntary character death? I'll just do that. I'll jump on that grenade.
Not till next time.
Not till next time.
Okay, yeah, I'm done.
We'll have a pact.
Awesome.
Thelma and Louise it.
Yeah, Kiana, how are you doing up there in the sweltering, what would you say was like 34? 30?
Yeah, it's 34 degrees Celsius, and I'm Canadian.
Basically hell.
Yeah, I mean, this is summer in my area of Canada, but usually it's not until July or August, so I'm not too happy to see it. So, not wearing my scarf because I would melt otherwise, but I'm excited to be here and be excited to play things. Words just suddenly became extremely hard. I'm sorry. Uh, I play Honora. She is the sorcerer. She is ambitious, definitely a liar most of the time. And I've been playing her like I've been driving a stolen car. Uh, Almost killed her really early on in the series, and hopefully won't kill her until the finale, but I can't make any promises on that because she just wants power and she'll do whatever she can to get it. So, hey, I'll just keep pressing the hashtag Team Bad Life choices button just every time it's presented to me. It's the fun thing to do.
Present it more. There's only 2 episodes left after all. And last but not least, of course, our resident changeling, Greg. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, my friend. I'm doing well. I'm getting ready to play, getting ready to jump back into this fantastic world. I've got some numbers for you, everybody. Some numbers for tonight. I'm Grimjack 21502. I'll be playing Kiln the Changeling. You also have Tabletop Loot's Web DM 15. That's another number you need to jam in there. Dungeon Fog's 3K options that they have that you can load in and use. And I want you to wrap that all up, pack it as tight as the snowball that you can, jam it in your tight 5, and let's go.
I was sitting here like he's clearly building to something. It did not disappoint. So yes, the action here up until now, the party being set out by different people on different missions, all with some vague gesture to head west, check out some magical tomfoolery. There's some corruption about, and we need to figure out what's causing it. Followed along with a peace summit, finding suspicious folk, interrogating those around them, causing said folk a changeling in the guise of a garden priest. As he fled, Kiln, well, he killed him. It was pretty gruesome. And after that, the party decided to set out east to find this lake that has been mentioned multiple times. And on the way, they found some fairies accosting some nature and decide to intervene and get a little bit more information about what's there. There's a cave, and there's some goings on, something to do with the changelings. It's very odd. And as they arrive, unable to decipher the ancient writings that were on the cave itself, only a shallow depression, not like the great one that we're in right now. Sorry. Sorry, I can't help it. I too am sleep deprived, so you're getting Pruitt with a lot of his filters gone, and I'm trying to keep it together. So anyway, but it was Kiln who had an intuition, follow the footsteps, something in the writing about life turning around, about not drowning, and he goes to the water's edge where he looks out as the sun crests the ravens at his back. And there's a glint, a reflection of light off of a clear walkway just beneath the surface. And as he followed that walkway towards the center of the lake, you could clearly see some kind of entrance heading down into the water. And that is where we are. Kiln, as you look out over this lake, this serene scene of sunrise at your back, the cherry blossoms in bloom. What do you do, sir?
The very first thing that Kiln's going to do is if he can find a stone, he is going to try to skip it out to right above this opening that you described last time, and see if he can't sink the stone either near or in the opening, just to indicate that there is actually an opening and not something that, it's not barricaded or barriered in any way.
So are you trying to skip it along the water, or are you actually trying to see if this perceived landing is actually there?
Yeah, he's going to try to, like, following the path.
Mhm.
He's going to try to skip it out and have it kind of stop and drop into the
Right.
water. He's not trying to go for distance. He's
Yeah.
going for just, trajectory.
Right. Aren't we all? Can I get an accurate roll as you skip this stone? And this is going to be at, we're going to put this at a -2.
Okay. Fine. Success, even at a -2 with a 10.
Okay, so you skip this, and you're sure you hear just a couple of light thuds on a glass surface. You hear that of stone hitting a surface as it skips out over the water. And sure enough, right as its last hop, about 6 inches before where you see this hole out there, and you see the stone drop,
Okay, so then he's going to
and it's
do
gone.
he's going to do the path of the righteous type stuff, and he's going to put his foot out and step out onto where the water would be, the proverbial leap of faith.
Right.
See if he.
What are as Kiln is taking this step out, what is the rest of the party doing?
Sweetums is. Sorry, you go first.
No, absolutely not.
Sweetums, what are you doing?
Sweetums is just his mind's being blown by this happening. Mostly, he's
So
looking.
All of y'all are watching. Okay, so the rest of you see Kiln walk to the water's edge, and you see him skip a stone out on the water, and then all of a sudden it's just gone.
Unjala, in anticipation of the second Kiln starts to get the idea that he's going to progress out onto the water, Unjala is going to move very close to him to observe and also hold out a stick for grabbing in case it does not go as well as he planned.
Okay, so you move down to the water's edge near your brother? Okay. You watch Kiln step out, and Kiln, you step out, and your foot only dips like a millimeter into the water before it meets a hard surface. Do you continue?
Yes, but then he gets like a messianic pose as he.
It's just for balance.
Just right. That's it. That's all it is.
Okay. So y'all watch Kiln step out onto the lake here on the surface and begin walking out towards there's a cluster of, like I said, these large green lily pads. There's like a cluster right in the middle of this mostly still lake, and as Kiln begins to walk out, his footsteps begin forming ripples otherwise that travel out. Anybody else doing anything? Yeah, are y'all just standing there? You're just not gonna do anything?
Just keep an eye out, making
Okay.
sure there's no bullshit going on.
I think Unjala would follow Kiln.
Okay, Unjala, give me a vigilant roll. And tell me
I got a 6 and my vigilant is 15.
Okay. You see Kiln taking steps and his feet hitting something. And so you're like, you think you can see it? This whatever he's walking on, this walkway, whatever it is, but like as you come to the water's edge, like it just looks like water.
And you gotta have faith, baby. So
it would be nice if I could walk on water.
So Unjala is gonna, obviously, since he spends so much time peering into the lives of the dead, he's going to trust that this is indeed a thing and follow behind him.
Okay. Give me a resolute roll as you take this step.
I rolled a 1 and my resolute's 15.
Yeah, as you take the step out and you like harness that pure rock solid faith in your brother, in the goings on, the universe that has taken you to this point. As your foot meets the water, you clearly see the outline of this walkway, and you're walking the straight and narrow path right behind your brother. And y'all see the strange Woodland brothers walking on water towards the center.
Now, see, you said Faith by George Michael, but now all I can hear is If I Could Walk on Water by Eddie Money, or Edward Money to anybody that's not his friends.
Yeah.
But okay. I'm
Sir
now
Edward.
currently listening to that.
Yeah. So yeah, right now Kiln is about halfway to this kind of cluster of lily pads. Unjala is just about, a few feet off the shoreline.
Sweetums is gonna just run up behind Unjala, just splishy splashing.
Okay.
Like this is the best thing he's ever done in his whole life.
Okie dokie. Can you give me a resolute roll?
I hope so. Okay. Resolute. I rolled a 1. For
Okay,
reals.
so Sweetums comes charging out, and Sweetums, your faith is in just good fun, and what would be more fun than to go splashing across the lake?
Exactly.
And so you, your giant ogre feet begin stepping out, and sure enough, the first one steps, second steps. Now, we'll say this, Sweetums, you do feel at the edges of your feet, like your toes are like kind of hanging off, and you feel the edge on your feet, right?
Okay.
So it's about a little less than about 8 feet wide, maybe. But yeah, when Sweetums does come out there though, Kiln, like you actually kind of feel some like vibration in this platform that you're walking across. It's not like wobbly, but like, when you were walking on it, it felt solid as a rock, even when your brother stepped behind you. And now you can kind of just feel it just like shaking. And as you look, and you see the rings of Sweetum's footsteps from behind, like racing to overtake yours as they kind of spread out across the lake. And Kiln, you're approaching this drop down into the lake, and sure enough, as the waves of Sweetum's footsteps reach the edge, you can clearly hear water kind of sluicing over the edge and down, and you can kind of hear the faint trickle of water dripping on some surface some distance below.
Is there a hole in the water? Like when I get close to the edge of like the diving board, is there like an absence of water somewhere?
Yes, you can now see like that there is like a hole about as wide as the platform itself, a little less than 10 feet wide, but you can see water kind of slooshing over the edge. Is that even a word? Sloshing. Sure. That's the word I was looking for. Over the edge of something, of an edge, and you can then hear water kind of trickling down below, kind of echo up from some space below. It's kind of echoing oddly because of water. But
is there any indicated way down, like a ladder, handholds, a path, even like a sluice or something, or is it just like a sheer drop?
You are almost to the edge, so go ahead and give me that vigilant roll. Honora,
Sure.
Are you
I mean, she was waiting for Sweetums to go because that'd be the best test.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Failure.
smart. You even like hear in the back of your mind, that's smart, and you recognize that annoying voice.
You need to get the fuck out of my head.
I failed the vigilant. Pruitt.
Yeah, you look as Honora steps out into the lake. Go ahead and give me a resolute.
Cool. A success.
Yeah, you step out onto the surface, and you can feel the vibrations from Sweetum's footsteps, but it, like I said, it doesn't feel like it's not like a shoddy rope bridge or anything. And as you step out and everyone is on this thing, Kiln looks over And Kiln, you look down, and this looks, first off, the light only lets you see about 15 feet down as the sun's just now rising, and then beyond that is darkness. But what you can see, this shaft going straight down into the lake is made, like the walls are made of some kind of clear, like glass or crystal. You're not sure, but you can definitely see the flit of fish right at like where you can have light in the tunnel. Like along the edge of it in the water. But you can't, as you look around, you can't see any kind of handhold or ladder. It looks just smooth.
Okay, and you said from your narration before, Pruitt, you said that this is like 10 feet in diameter, correct? Like the same...
It's about 8 feet in diameter.
Okay, still too much for, because Kiln's a smaller humanoid, too much for him to kind of like X and
that's
go
true.
down. But is it enough for Sweetums?
I mean, you think that Sweetums probably could. It might be a bit tough, but with the water and whatnot, it looks pretty smooth. But as far as size, yeah.
Okay, so again, this is the part of the episode where Kiln will defer to those that are smarter than he. As he relays what he's seen, it looks like a sluice of some kind. I don't see any handholds going down. Sweetums, perhaps you could connect with your feet and hands and be able to kind of draw your way down, but it seems dangerous. If there's anybody that any potential arcane solution to this problem. And he would kind of give back a bit. So if anybody else wants to walk up to the edge, they can.
I think Unjala would be interested in taking a, as you say, gander down this moist pond hole. That sounded... I'm not going to say that again.
What, moist pond hole? That? Yeah, can we go ahead and clip that? Can we clip moist pond hole?
Moist pond hole.
Oh, don't.
That's going in my type 5.
I mean, that's how you get to the type 5. Anyway, sorry. So what are you doing at the entrance to this?
To see like how the light is refracting off of the water as it pours over.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to see like if that reveals anything about how deep it is.
You can. I will say this: as water kind of splashes over, you can hear it hit the ground sometime later. It's kind of hard to tell because it's been kind of constantly doing it since Sweetums kind of started bounding across. So there's been like a nice little wave. But there, you do know that there is a ground.
He'll look to Kiln. Do you have another stone? Perhaps I could.
I have a broken arrow because I kept all those parts to make more crazy things. So he would remove the arrowhead and give it to his brother. Here you go.
And he went, Unjala, thank you. Will dangle it over the edge and drop it and try to audibly tell the amount of time between dropping it and it hitting something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you drop it, and you know this is something that people do. Give me a vigilant at a +2. And either of you can do this because I mean this is just timing how long it takes something to drop. This is I would assume this is something that people do all the time to gauge distance.
Yeah, well I got a 19, which is not good for this.
Okay. I mean, Kiln, you're right there. You can make a vigilant as well.
I succeeded with an 8.
Okay. Yeah, you can tell it's probably 50, 60 feet down.
It's more than a hop, skip, and or jump.
Yes.
About 60 feet on the far side.
God damn it. Oh shit.
So
it'll never get old.
How should we get down there?
We could have
one.
The only thing I can think of is if we don't have enough rope, there's still nothing to affix it to up here, and the person that would be acting as tether anyway would be suspect to falling or, having their station compromised upon this surface. But if we could produce some rope, I have 50 feet. We could tie it around Sweetums, and Sweetums could X their way down the tube. But again, it's putting Sweetums at risk.
If anybody turns around to look at Sweetums, he is bare ass naked. No.
I believe
Oh.
Sweetums has made up his mind.
Yes.
I know I would have seen all this because Sweetum's in between her and
Yeah.
what's
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You'd have gotten a really good view of it.
Yeah. I mean, he's a baby,
Fine.
so he's surprisingly stealthy at disrobing. But
Yeah, it's
you just turn around and
like Greg,
There
you
you are.
started your thought, like Kiln started his thought, looked at Sweetums. Sweetums had his clothes on. By the time you got back around to, I don't want to put Sweetums is naked.
Right. I
Yeah,
don't. Greg doesn't have to be described the ability
yeah.
to time
Sorry.
travel nudity
Yeah,
with
yeah.
kids.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's just like
His clothes are like Batman.
right.
Yep.
There's just two streaks of fire, and then all of a sudden they're nude.
he's a baby in water. He is naked. That's what happens.
All right, Sweetums.
My
So
whole life at this point. This time of year.
what do you how does Sweetums feel about Kiln's suggestion?
That sounds like so much fun. Let's do it now.
Yeah, but Kiln is gonna wrap his silk rope around Sweetums' waist. And just
careful.
to yeah, right.
Sweetums makes full eye contact the whole time.
This is so pleasant. And he would tie it up. It's only 50 feet. So if this is a 60-foot drop with the wrap around and everything.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, as far as it takes for you to reach around with the rope around Sweetums, that's going to take at least another like 10 feet, right? So, the end of the rope, you'd have a 20-foot drop unless you hung on to it while Sweetums started to climb down. It's up to you.
But if the tube goes all the way down, Sweetums could potentially, this is like to protect Sweetums from falling 60, 50, 40, 30 feet. We can't really do much for the 20, 10, 5 touchdown.
I have an idea, perhaps. What if Sweetums? Now this involves Sweetums not getting distracted by anything, but perhaps lower the rope. We wouldn't need to tie the rope around Sweetums. Lower the rope, perhaps Kiln, if you would be so brave as to be on the end of that rope as Sweetums lowers it down. That way, Sweetums can just pull you back up easily.
But Sweetums is already naked.
Well, yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, let's go with this then.
With that being said, the X Sweetums thing came into before I knew how far down it was and everything. If you want to send Kiln down, Kiln will obviously go down. But at the same time, if this is deeper than 60 feet, it'll be up to Sweetums one way or the other.
Well, I mean, if it's say like he's got 15 feet to drop, that's like a person doing like a 6-foot drop. It's not that big of a deal. It's fine.
So
Famous
as
last word.
you're having this debate at the pond, what was it? Pond.
Who's
hole's
going
edge?
in the moist pond hole?
Yeah,
Moist
at the
pond
moist
hole?
pond hole's edge, there is a shudder from beneath you. A very definite shudder that like vibrates. It's not like the walkway. It is coming from deep beneath the lake. And as it comes up through this tunnel, like you can definitely see this shaft that comes up to the water surface. Tremors and rings and waves start racing away from it as energy is released, and then it subsides.
What was that?
And then you hear the first
Sounded
And
like
Honora-
someone sneezed.
And Honora, you look down and there's a crack between your feet.
Well, I would say we should hurry up and decide what we're going to do. It appears that the pathway might not be a pathway for much longer.
Must go faster.
I know I had no idea what's going on because there's Sweetums in the way.
Just Sweetum's
She's
butt
just
in
hearing
your
the
face.
conversation, but she can't
Uh-huh.
see what's going on.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to see around.
Am I jumping in this hole?
Since the rope is already around you, that might be our best bet. And
Okay.
then if catastrophe happens up here, we'll just jump on you.
Okay. Sounds good. I'm gonna jump in the hole, Pruitt.
Okay. So
Yep.
you can either give me a quick or a strong.
Strong, please.
Okay. It's going to be at a -3 because the
Okay.
walls are slick.
Yes.
But yeah, you're gonna give me a roll and let me know. I assume you have a 15 strong, right?
I do. I need a
Okay.
12 or less.
So you need 12 or less. So yeah, just let me know what you roll.
Rolled an 11.
You rolled 11. So Sweetums slips a little bit at first, but makes their way down a little bit. You don't really make it that far because you're more just like trying to get a feel for, get some traction. So go ahead and give me another roll.
Another strong?
Another strong.
Doke. That failed. That's a 13.
Failed as a 13, so you just failed. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a quick roll at a -5.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Quick. Oh, no. I have to get a 4 or less. That's not good.
Mm-hmm.
I got a 5.
Okay. You manage to somewhat slow your descent. You don't manage to get traction, but y'all see Sweetums just like down this tube and into the darkness. Sweetums, what sound do you make as you fall down this vertical?
It goes down the hole. He
Expanse.
just says, I'm okay. That's what he says.
Okay. Hang on a second. Let's see.
Woo.
All right, Sweetums. As
Don't
you
make me die naked in the middle of a.
Well, I mean, you did
Odd
take your armor
hole.
off. You did take your armor off, but you have other ways to mitigate damage. But you do fall and take 12 damage. However much of that you want to try to mitigate.
Oh gosh. Well,
Is-
I have 12 toughness, so I think I.
Well,
need to
I mean,
do
that's
that.
your total hit points. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so
So-
I get one D4 from being robust.
From being a big boy.
from
You don't
being
have
a
your
big
armor,
boy.
so you don't have that.
But my tats.
You do have tats all
I'm
showing.
gonna do tats.
Did
so
you
I'm gonna
describe your
do-
tats yet?
My tats?
Yeah.
I have not described my tat. I haven't given that much thought to my tats yet.
Okay.
Imagine they're just kind of like swirly wristband type things.
Mm.
Yes.
Okay.
They're just kind of
So y'all-
nice.
So
They're minimal because he doesn't like getting them.
they're minimalist tribalist.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So y'all see some light flare up from below as Sweetum's tats flare into existence. And how much does that give you?
Let's see. 3 and 2. So that soaks 5.
So it soaks 5 out of the 12 damage. So you take
Yeah.
7, which I
Yeah.
believe passes your damage threshold. So you kind of like fall and land on your butt, and you're stunned there for a round.
Okay.
And it kind of hurts. Hurts
Mm-hmm.
probably a lot more than anything that's hurt in a while. But you did
Sweden
just
starts
fall
to
50
cry
feet.
a little bit.
Yeah, you just fell 50 feet on your butt.
Mhm.
So y'all hear like a light whimpering from below.
Well, I suppose that could have gone better.
Well, now we know for sure it's 50 feet.
So, was anyone holding the back end of the rope?
Yeah,
Or
we
did-
still have the
Or
rope.
or did Sweetum just dump down there with a really long rope belt?
Wait a minute. You were hanging onto that rope?
Hell yeah, I was hanging onto the rope.
Did you let go of the rope?
Let's go. Let's
'Cause
go with.
if we remember,
What do you think, Pruitt?
well, I mean, I'll let you have a quick test.
If it was 50, then with Sweetum's girth, would I have had to let go of it?
Well, it was a 60-foot drop.
Okay.
You had 50 feet of rope, and you had to use 10 feet to wrap around Sweetum's waist.
Well, yeah, no, okay, no. My thing was Kiln's entire intention was to feed out the rope until the last possible instant, and then let go of it to give enough, drag on Sweetums as possible.
Okay.
Does that help with the damage? Because
Okay. Well, it might, but it's also going to require a test from you because like Sweetum
I like the first
slipped.
part. I don't like the second part.
Sweetum slipped almost immediately, right? So it's not like, you have that much weight. Do you let go of it or do you try to hang on a little bit?
I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. If at the moment that Sweetum starts to move, is there any way that I can jump off of the bridge right beside, like go into the water, almost like I'm on the outside of the crystals? This is our time for let's have a conversation. We haven't talked in a while, Pruitt.
Okay.
And
I see what you mean. So that means it would.
I could use the bottom of the bridge to keep myself from being ripped over into the cylinder, and maybe be able to save some of that damage for fair Sweetums.
Okay. So I will let you do this, but I'm going to need you to make me a strong roll
My specialty.
to see if you can hang on to this. And any kind of impediment from Sweetum's weight is offset by the fact that you have a pulley system and your body weight.
That's a failure. It's a failure with an 11.
It's a failure. Okay. So, would you like this failure to affect Sweetums or you?
Wait, can Unjala like assist by
Okay.
a grab or a cheer?
So we're adding. Okay. Adding layers to the retcon. All right. I'll say this. I'll let you have a quick roll to see if you can help keep your brother from getting ripped out of the water and down that shaft.
All right. Quick is not something I use very often. Let me.
I was hoping
13. I rolled a 13 and my quick's a 10.
So you failed a little bit. Okay, so you do not. Greg, on a D6, I want you to pick two numbers.
Okay. 3 and a 5.
3 and a 5. If I roll one of these numbers, you don't fall. Like, you get ripped up out of the water. Okay?
Sure.
And you make air. So if I roll a 3 or a 5, you will land in the water as opposed to straight down.
Sure. I love it.
I rolled a 3. So
when I jump up, can I like do something cool? Like pop out of the water and be like, I tried my best. And then go back in the water.
You kind of get flung out and over, and you see Sweetums in this perfect moment straight down into this well. You watch the rope like coil like a snake into the darkness, followed by as you kind of fly across the hole and land in the water on the other side. And Sweetums, you can take off 2 damage from that total because of the efforts of your compatriots.
Thank you.
All right, that's the last retcon of the campaign. It's the last time I'm letting Greg talk me into anything. All right, Pruitt, follow me here.
We all know that that's not true.
I know it's true. I love speaking in absolutes because it gives the universe a chance to completely undercut that. All right. So Sweetums, you still fall. Some of the damage kind of clears after a minute. It's just, you're stunned, Bobo. But you are sitting on a landing that is slightly angled to your right as you're kind of just sitting there, and your head clears. And you can tell that this landing is only about 20 feet from the wall behind you, and it kind of molds up into this round opening above you to where you see sky. And as you look around, you can actually see a light, a glow coming from the center part of an open chamber. As
Mhm.
you look to your right, and this landing kind of goes and begins to circle along the edge of the wall and kind of at a down angle, deeper into the underground.
Okay.
And that's
Do
just kind of what you see right now. It's like the light isn't a lot, but it's enough to let you kind of look around and get a
see
general
the shape of things?
shape of your surroundings.
Okay. Do I see anything living in here? Anything moving?
Right now, you just hear the drip of water from above you, and
Okay.
it's kind of coming down in a ring.
Okay.
You hear the splash of kiln and people shouting down from above.
Yep.
But other than that, you just you think you hear kind of a low chant, but
Okay.
it's like a whisper on the wind kind of thing, where you're like,
Right.
did I hear that?
Mm-hmm. I look up and I kind of like, I stage whisper, like, I'm okay.
Oh, monk.
I sound just like that. And I'm okay. And I say, come on down. Get down here. It's cool.
By the way, Sweetums, you said you disrobed. Where is your armor?
I was thinking, I was imagining I would carry it like in a pack. Like I've got like the papoose part, and I just like roll it up.
You just kind of have it tucked under your arm right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm doing. Yep. He may not put it on again for the duration of the campaign. It's possible. Okay. He's not going to do it unless somebody asks him to. I'm just telling you guys that metagame.
Can you at least put the pants on?
Since you asked,
No, I'm nothing. I am just the storyteller. I'm the observer. So
we need
you,
to poo it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you call out, and from below, Unjala, you're out of the water, so you can kind of hear, you hear Sweetums' call that it's safe. Come on down.
So how do you want to do this? I can see. So is Kiln still holding what's left of the rope, or is the rope entirely down there?
The rope.
So we are gravity boned in this.
I don't know if I would phrase it that way, but I think it's an apt observation.
Penultimate episode, Unjala is going to yell down, Sweetums, catch me! And he's just going to jump.
Oh my God.
Penultimate episode. Let's go.
What did you expect, Pruitt? I saw this coming 15 minutes ago.
You know what I was honestly expecting? Exactly what Greg said, but I was expecting y'all to climb down first and then Sweetums to X down afterwards.
Okay. Okay, let's do this.
Sweetums, look around. Is there anything that indicates a way for you to get up or us to get down?
Is there?
It's a little dark here. Give me a vigilant.
Okay.
It's going to be at a -2 because of
vigilant
vigilant at a -2 for the darkness.
Okay.
We can throw down.
I rolled a 19. I don't see anything. The darkness.
Yeah.
It's very dark.
Yeah. So okay, listen. This is the ultimate trust fall. So. Yeah, go big or go home.
All right.
Sweetums has prepared his whole life for this, and he's going to attempt to like spread like the Petruvian man, the Petruvian ogre, and just
all right
break your fall.
This is what I'm gonna do. Sweetums, give me a strong roll as Unjala jumps out. Sweetums, your strength is 15, right? Okay. Just let me know what you roll.
Okay. I rolled a 5.
Rolled a 5. So the difference between that and your strength is 10. What is your health, Unjala?
It was after recovery 6.
Oh, okay. You're fine. It's a little uncomfortable, but Sweetums, catches you very nicely, and it's a little jarring, but yeah.
And Unjala like looks at Sweetums for the first time with like big starry eyes, and you see like a smile creep up on his old wrinkly face.
It's the first time you'll ever see Sweetums break eye contact. It's just- okay. It's just a little too much. That's okay.
Winjala, do you see anything down there that you could get up with or we could get down with?
Okay, can I look? Can I
Yeah,
take
give me a vigilant, -2.
I rolled a 9, vigilant is 15.
Okay, yeah, you look around and you see, it's a little hard to see, but on the wall, there is some kind of, you're not sure if it's a crystal or something in the wall. It's only about, about an inch big, but looks like a circular button or something. It's very weird.
There's a circular button or something. It's weird.
Could you please try to manipulate said button to see if maybe it enables us to get down without having to rely on the law of averages that either I or Honora will die if we try to do the same thing you did?
Sweetums, can you carry me over to the button?
Of course. I can't see the button, so you'll have to tell me where it is.
Unjala will point.
Okay. Oh, so this whole time, Sweetums is still holding you like a baby?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Please.
All right. So yeah, Sweetums, he's pointing right at the wall right there. It was right behind you. You were looking, you kept looking over here, and it was like literally like right behind you.
That happens sometimes.
It happens, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, I didn't see that before.
Okay.
There's a button.
And then how large is this button?
Like I said, it's only about an inch and a half in diameter. It's
Okay.
just like a big button. It's kind of a dark color, maybe a blue or a purple. You're not sure. Again, it's dark.
And then Unjala will boop it.
So you boop the button and it lights up in a like a deep midnight blue. Like the color of like glaciers, like that deep dark blue. And there is a brisk wind as runes at your feet light up. And that wind spirals and it grows. And Sweetums, you actually are like, you feel yourself starting to lift up a little bit.
Okay.
Do you stay there or do you step back away from him? Because right now you're like directly below.
I'll back up a bit, I think.
Okay. Yeah, you start to back up as you feel yourself getting a little lighter. And you step out of the circumference of these runes. But you clearly there's a current of air that builds. And those of you at the top, you hear this as air kind of like shoots up out of this tunnel. And Honora, your hair kind of flies a little wildly. And there's a steady stream of air that is coming up out of this tunnel now.
Well, that seems to be a way to cushion the fall.
I agree. Would you like to go first or second?
Are you in the water? Like,
No, I'm back out.
Okay.
Just imagine killing this whole time, just like on the edge, just like feet dangling.
yeah,
Like,
I wasn't sure.
What's going on down there, guys? What's up?
Okay.
Hey guys.
Just dangling. So yeah.
How's the crack in the pathway looking?
As Sweetums move forward, like it spread, it's almost all the way across the walkway, but it has not completely bisected the walkway. But there is a deep crack that runs probably 3/4 of the way across.
Cool. I guess we're not coming back this way. She'll kind of shrug.
Also an option.
Yeah. And she'll step forward towards this stream of air.
All right. Yeah, you step forward into the stream of air and you begin to fall, but it's caught, and you make a slow and steady descent, almost all the way to the bottom. you get almost to the bottom before you're kind of like picked up, and it's like you look like you're on the moon, because you're just kind of like hard to get traction as the magic is trying to keep you aloft. But you can make your way kind of a few bounding steps out of the ring.
Yep. She will make her way down and be on solid ground again.
So yeah, you find yourself next to a large naked ogre carrying a spiritualist.
Are you okay, Sweetums?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Y'all
Jaw's
can-
good too.
Y'all can clearly see that Sweetums Bobo has some scratches. His back is a little bruised.
His booty. He calls it his booty.
His booty, sorry.
His booty. That's the technical ogre term.
Yeah, he's hurting the booty.
Yep. It's okay.
Is there anything that we can do to help recover HP? I don't think we can unless we have.
I can inherit wounds, but I would take those.
I can do some healing if I need to, but I've got taken 5 of 12. I'm okay for now. Hopefully.
Can I be directed by you to aid in the mending of the ass region and to help alleviate?
I don't. That's up to Pruitt. Or can I help my own ass, or do I need someone else to help my ass?
I mean, if he's
I-
there to help your ass, then he can facilitate you helping your own ass.
That's what friends are for.
Yeah, I mean, this is when you find out who your friends really are.
Help
true.
me help you
Hmm.
With your ass.
with your ass.
Let's do this. What's the ass roll?
It's the,
Pruitt?
well, I mean, Sweetums, that's up to you. Maybe you still have some ointment from helping the
Yes.
the fairy or something like that.
Oh yeah, my comfrey and calendula.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, it's just, you just got to roll it on there. So we just need I would say you get you get a +1 from Kiln helping you direct it to the right parts.
Yes. Of the
your
ass.
Of the
Okay.
ass.
The ass. Okay. Sounds good. All
Where's
right.
Christopher Walken when you need him?
He hit it. In his ass.
So I'm pretty sure I don't have access to the book right off the bat, but I need to do a check. And then if that check is successful, then I can.
Yeah,
just
you
heal
need to make a medicus check.
Yes. Which skill is that?
Medicus, I believe, is from cunning or resolute.
Can we say it's resolute? 15%.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that's why you have that big of
Yeah.
a resolute.
Yes. All right. So I'm going to give it a shot. I passed. Got a 7. And then.
Oh, Monk, you sound so pitiful. And I know that there's food in your bowl, too.
And I healed 4. And you say I get an extra? An extra?
Well, no, you had a +1 to your roll.
Oh, well, I did even better then.
Yeah.
Okay. So then, yes, my ass is almost back to its normal self.
Well, no. Remember, are you novice or adept?
Novice.
Okay, but you're using an ointment, so it's a D6.
Yes.
Oh,
I
okay,
took
sorry.
4.
Never mind. I heard you say 4, and I was reading the
I
spell.
healed for 4.
Gotcha.
I rolled
Sorry.
4.
Okay,
Yes.
so you got some preparation H. You put it
Yep.
on. You feel a little bit better.
Mhm.
And there y'all are. Like I said, you're at the beginnings of a walkway. Like this filters down onto a landing about 20 feet wide, and it begins as you look out. Like if you go to the edge, this is a vast circular expanse. It's a very tall chamber. You're not really sure how tall. You can see a light about a couple hundred feet below you that kind of obscures your view of the floor because it kind of just light blinds you, but it doesn't quite reach up here. You're kind of in the very, very light shadows. But the walkway itself, like I said, it's about 20 feet wide, and it angles downward kind of to your right, and then snakes around this chamber and makes a descent as you kind of spiral. down deeper. So that is what you see. How would you like to proceed?
Would you all like me to go ahead?
How do you sound pathetic?
I think that is wise, and we'll follow shortly.
If y'all want to get your marching everything in order for just a quick minute, I need to go show Monk that he still has food in his bowl
Oh, Monk.
so that he'll stop meowing at me to feed him. So I'll be right back.
Okay.
Sure thing, buddy.
Yeah, so obviously killing first is a great idea.
Yep.
Unjala, probably one of the middle two would be smart for his frail,
Mm-hmm.
dainty mammalian form.
I'm gonna shore up the rear.
Nice.
Because butts.
Butt jokes.
Because
Yes. Yes.
gotta keep putting in those butt jokes.
It's on brand.
Well, at least
Web DM.
as long as we're not the butt of the joke, then we're cool.
Exactly.
What I come back to?
We made some ass jokes
All right.
and some decisions.
That's good. So how would y'all like to proceed?
That's a biography. Ass jokes and decisions.
Emma Lambert's autobiography. Yes.
Ass jokes and decisions. Did you read AGAD? It's awesome.
Dude,
Oh boy. So
Toilet
killed
reader of the
first.
decade.
Yeah. Killed first.
Jesus.
I would probably say Ujala would be right after him if we're putting the two magic users in the middle.
Mhm.
And then Enora, and then Sweetums in the back.
right. So now are y'all striking up any light sources, or are you just gonna continue on as is?
They can a kiln will not be.
Okay. All right. So you begin making your way down, and only after about 30, 40 feet, the water that has been dripping down kind of stops. It finds another path to run off the edge far below, and the ground is pretty stable. Kiln, as you're moving down, give me a vigilant check at -2 because of the darkness.
Oh,
TP Grant, I am very proud.
success with a 7.
Success with a 7. Okay, so Kiln, you start to notice as you're moving down, about every 20 feet or so, embedded in the wall is some material. You're not really sure what it is. It is, it is not stone. It is kind of a darker, smooth material. Maybe some kind of crystal. You're not really sure, but again, without light, you wouldn't be able to investigate further. But you start to notice this after, like I said, after about 40 feet. You think you see a first one, and then you move a little further, and you're like, oh yeah, there's definitely something there. And whether or not you inspect it with, with tactile sensation, you can tell it's smooth. It's not stone per se. But yeah.
He would telepathically communicate back to his brother to be on the lookout if they're using light. This could be something that either could be, the easiest thing is it's easier to look at and examine in the light, but 2, it could be something that is activated by the light. So if it's a trap, so he's going to just kind of relay that back and let Unjala know that there's something that could be of importance on the walls.
Yeah. Oh, and also, Kiln, you're pretty sure you hear chanting coming from below. Very methodical, slow, emotionless, chanting like a metronome, right? Like you've heard wizards chant before, but this is like a whole other level. But it's like you can barely hear it even from here.
I also believe there's some chanting.
All right. Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you. Unjala's gonna go full witch sight here.
You're going full witch sight, huh?
Yeah, I'm gonna shift it into witch sight gear and just
Okay.
see the shadows.
Okay. Okay. You turn your witch sight on, and look. And where are you looking in particular?
I'm going
it
to be.
comes up.
I'm going where the direction that I know Kiln has gone.
All right. So you witched the shit out of that sight, as Brother Greg has so eloquently put it. And give me a resolute check. And this is going to be at a -5.
Ooh, buddy. I fail. So would be
Okay.
yeah.
So
13. It would be 10 with the -5, and I rolled a 13.
okay. So you look at the wall where Kiln had said that there's something there, and you can kind of see it as your witch sight comes up. I will say you see this in a brief flash. You see a completely perfect sphere uh, uh, embedded into the wall itself, with the side that is flush with the wall kind of shaved flat, but it should be a completely perfect sphere. And you see the outline of a small individual, probably about 3.5 feet, if they were to stand, but they're kind of balled up in a fetal position. But there is an immense flash of you feel the warmth of spring on your cheeks. You feel the blooming of blossoms after the first rains of the season. You feel refreshed and reinvigorated. And then you feel something cold and purple wrapping around that, as it almost blinds you to look at this. And you have to look away and drop your sight. And as you look around, you literally have the outline of this individual, whoever it is in this pod, burned into your vision. And I'll let you know when it's no longer burned into your vision.
Okay, so everywhere I look, there's
every time you blink, you have that thing where they're just like I said, it looks like a sonogram kind of. You can see the legs and the hands up near the face, but it's just you can't really see details. It's just like a perfect silhouette, just kind of etched into your sight.
I relay that information to if the other two are down there, great. If not, then kill them.
Okay. Yeah, Kiln's gonna. He's going full stealth here as he creeps forward.
Okay. And Unjala, you can see. It's not maybe not the right word for it. It appears that it's difficult to see where you're going for the time being, because this image is blocking most of what you would normally be looking at. You can, if you focus really hard, you can look at your peripheral vision, right? But it's kind of hard to do in the darkness. But just so you know, just for the time being, you're well, we'll see if it goes away. But yes. But you might need some assistance moving forward down this landing. So do y'all continue further, or do you do any more investigating as you move down? Because as of now, you have not heard anything other than the trickle of water above. And now, after a few more steps, everybody can pretty much hear this kind of rhythmic chanting coming from below. Those are the only two noises that you hear other than your own footfalls.
Well, once we get to the impassable area, or the area that requires assistance, Pruitt, could we use the recovered rope and kind of tether up?
Mm-hmm.
Or whatever will allow us to get, down this slope?
Yeah, I mean, you can just walk. It's not so steep that you it was only dangerous at the beginning because of all the water that had drained down. But now it's a gradient that, you know, is easy to walk, but it might take you a while to make it to the bottom.
Okay, so to kind of help with gauging the distance of where they are with where Kiln is, every time Kiln reaches like a rotation, he'll leave an arrowhead on one of the, like if he can attach it somewhere,
Mhm.
and he's going to try to gauge with number of paces as he kind of coils. It's like we're coiling around a cylinder, right?
Right. Oh yeah.
Okay.
You totally are. You're just making your way around this cylinder. And again, as you move down, there is some kind of light suspended below you in the center, but you're not quite there yet. But I will say this, Kiln, you do notice that the lower you get, the warmer it's becoming.
Okay. So to give them an idea that he's only, I don't know what the full area is around the outside of this thing, but as he gets like one of the broken helix circles around, he'll put another arrowhead down, and he'll say putting an arrowhead down, and kind of relay that back to Anjala. And then when he goes around and kind of curves around and realizes he's in the same position just right below where he had just last put, he'll put another one down and just proceed, pick those up on the way down.
All right.
I would also say.
And so as you begin to move down, Kiln, after you're working on your third revolution around, you've dropped 2 arrowheads, and as you're working your way down your third, the light from below is getting closer, and actually you can see a little bit better. So much so that you can definitely see each of these containment units, whatever they are. You can start to see them clearly. And as you are here, you can tell that they are made of some kind of like red, like ruby or red quartz, some kind of crystal. But you can make the vague outline of an individual inside of it. Again, kind of in the fetal position. But if Njala kind of told you they were about 3.5, these are about 4.5 feet tall. They would be if they were fully standing, right? But they are encased in red. And again, it's about every 20, 30 feet. And it's pretty evenly spaced as you're moving down this pathway. And it's like I said, and now it's warmer. We're starting to get into what feels like a nice summer day.
No identification though yet on the rhythmic chanting.
I mean, it's, you know, you've heard many different languages of magic spoken. You know, you would guess that this is some kind of casting, some kind of ritual. But you know, you would have to be trained in the arts to try to decipher what it was. But being around your brother enough, you know, like you've seen him cast a ritual there where he rhythmically chants for a long time, and it sounds pretty similar. There's just something about it that has a precision that is almost, it's slightly unnerving. I'll say that.
Okay, then to kind of deflect this need to keep asking questions, he would telepathically contact Unjala and just say, you know, if there's any reason I should stop, let me know. If you hear something, if any of you understand what's going on, let me know.
Loud and clear. I'll still keep picking up your arrowheads, though. Right?
Thank you. Seacrest out.
And I'll constantly be checking and watching, and I'd like to re-engage which site.
Okay.
Like on the way down to.
Okay. Yeah.
Kind of see any sort of oddities, things seeping out of cracks or anything like that.
Yeah, I will say this. By the time you get down to where Kiln was at my last description, where you can start to see these containment spaces in the walls, you feel like your vision is starting to return to normal. The kind of the throbbing headache that you had subsides a bit, and so you engage your witch sight again. Okay, so give me another resolute roll. It's going to be at a -5.
9. So
9.
I needed a 10. I got a 9.
So y'all, Sweetums, Honora, you see Unjala like bring his sight up. Y'all have seen him do this many times. And whereas before he kind of like let out a sharp cry and like fell back immediately, this time he only almost goes to a knee, as whatever he's looking at, the force of it almost brings him to his knees. But Unjala, you maintain your focus, and you look at this creature. You look beyond its whatever this is that is containing it, and again you can see it clearly. It is a perfect sphere, save where the wall is, and it's flush with the wall, kind of shaved flat. Once again, this creature is about 4.5 feet tall. You can see the ears kind of coming to sharp points. You can feel heat, the heat of like the midday sun. You can feel like you're thirsty because of the warmth as you look upon this thing. But once again, you feel that tendril of purple energy that is reaching up from deep in the ground. And even though you're deeper, it hasn't reached this being as much as the previous being you looked at. But it is reaching up for it, almost like a grasping, digit, a strand, a tentacle. However Unjala would see that, but it's reaching up towards this creature as it is in this slumber.
Noted. And then he'll communicate with Kiln.
Mhm.
There's some dark energy attempting to manipulate this process, the metamorphosis process.
The source of the corruption.
Keep going. Keep your eyes open.
Will do.
Unjala, do you look at anything else with your sight, or do you?
I'm gonna try to keep it up, and as we continue down the hall.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I just want to know if you like look around. Do you look down in the hall? Do you continue to look at other things?
I'm keeping focused on going forward. I'm not trying to since Kiln is also moving, I would like to continue moving. I don't want to take an exorbitant amount of time analyzing all of the small things.
Okay.
In this, as that image is fairly telling enough. It's just trying to trace it further.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll say this, as you continue. First off, you can feel if your eyes start to waver towards the light source at the center of this room, it is like blinding. Like the magic coming from whatever's at the center, you know that if you looked at it, you might not ever see anything ever again. I will say that. It's like being right next to a nuclear explosion, and it's like right in your peripheral vision. So that's the only reason I was asking.
So with it being so bright,
mm-hmm.
What colors are it?
It is a radiant red and orange. It is the essence of fire itself.
Okay.
It is the heart of summer that is burning next to your face. But you will notice as you move along and you see these beings, whatever they are, you can definitely see as you move down further and further, there's still that grasping reach of corrupting energy. But the further down you go, the further away it is from reaching the being that is contained.
The summer light, the hot light, the further down we go, the further the hot light gets from the things in the pods?
No, the corrupting energy. The further down you go, like in each one of these pods, there's a being there that just right now it's giving off every summer that you've ever had. Like the worst, the best, like all the emotions that come with that. But below it, kind of in its shadows, is this grasping tendril of corrupting energy that is reaching from deep in the earth beneath each pod, right? I'm just saying that when you looked at the one up there, it was pretty much grabbing the being. And when you come down to summer here, it is almost reaching it, but as you move deeper, I'm just saying that is further and further away. It's an inverse proportionality to the depth in which you were going down. So,
Math. Fuck yeah. Let's go.
yeah, I love the maths.
Excellent. And then I'll relay that to Kiln. Like the further down we go, the less corrupted these beings are slowly becoming.
So they're more corrupt towards higher up than they are lower down.
Yes, like capitalism.
That's one of the greatest lines ever in RPGs. I just wanted you to know that, brother, that you came up with that incredibly quick. But we need to stop, and everyone needs to appreciate that was one of the greatest lines in RPGs.
Yes, and Emma, we are monetizing this, right?
A very
Capitalism.
slight amount.
Capitalism, baby.
Amazon's probably making a lot more on this than we are.
Yeah, it just gives them more money for dick pics. Anyway, sorry, that was inappropriate. I'm sorry. I'm not. Anyway, so Kiln, you continue to move down. Okay. And just so I know, like, nobody's really spoken loudly, right? Like, y'all aren't really, like, because y'all are telepathically speaking, and then Unjala, when you talk to them, you're just kind of talking at a normal...
I haven't spoken to them yet. I trust that they're just going to follow me.
Okay. All right.
Follow me wherever I may go.
There is an ocean too deep.
Too deep.
I'm trying not to sing. I watched Sister Act a lot as a kid. Sue me, okay? It's burned into my brain.
It's so good, though.
It is. So anyway, with that being said, Kiln, you continue down. And sure enough, right as you reach what would be like high noon, as you're going down here with this light that is like right next to you, it is almost unbearable. It is as hot as the hottest summer that you have ever endured. Maybe some bad memories crop up of famine and the hunt coming up nil for weeks on end. But you can, at this point, Kiln, you can clearly see into these chambers that are kind of changing from a deep red to more of an amber to an orange as you move down. And you can see in these things, and like, you've seen elves before. You know what an elf looks like. And these are almost elves.
Brother, it looks like they're growing elves.
Are they growing elves, or is this their natural process?
Well, does somebody want to give me a cunning roll to see if they can know the elves' natural process of...
I got this last week.
Wait, you did get this last week?
I did.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, I passed it anyways, but I would have gotten it last week.
You do know. Again, this is just the review before the final quiz. But you do know that they begin as fairies. Those are spring elves, and they become elflings.
Oh, right. Okay.
As they grow into summer, and then as fall, they are full elves.
Here's the question that I should ask. Are they, because you described them as 4.5 feet tall when I first saw them, and at the deeper that I go, are they smaller the deeper I go?
No. The ones at the top, the one that Unjala saw first, was about 3.5 feet tall. That's the same size as those fairies that y'all fought. And then now the ones you're seeing are about 4.5 feet going towards 5. Because now you're kind of passing the zenith of summer, and as it's dawning on here, you're moving towards autumn, and they're getting bigger as the pods go along.
Okay. I would note all of this. All of they started off at 3 feet tall, roughly the size of Glenn Danzig, and now they are roughly 2 Glenn Danzigs tall.
2 full Danzigs.
They are. Yes,
That's a
they are.
formidable foe.
Right.
The compact aggression of a semi-truck.
3 feet. Pure rage. Don't get in a mosh pit with Glenn Danzig. He's got center of gravity on his side. It's that low center.
And he's also got something to prove.
Yeah, he's got something to prove. Anyway,
And sideburns. Yikes.
so you're moving deeper, and Kiln, the chanting is I mean, you can hear it clearly, and you're pretty sure around your last revolution, you think it started over. You think the song or whatever is being chanted has started, like you start to recognize things from way back, meters and cadences, things like that. As y'all have, I mean, you think you've been down here for maybe half an hour so far, as you've just been making revolutions around this walkway. But things are starting to cool off as the chambers themselves start to kind of pitch towards orange. And below you, Kiln, you think you can see the floor. It's only a couple of 100 feet more down, but you see a distinct glow of blue from the center of the floor. You're not sure like how big whatever is casting this light is at this distance, but you definitely see that.
Okay, so he'd relay all that back, and as this kind of, over and over, as the hymn becomes part of either an awoken memory or just repetition born of like an earwig, something that's going to make you think of a song, or as he.
Kiln, the thing is as you're relaying this and you're thinking about it, you can start to like recite the words. It's a song that you don't know how you know it, you don't know the language, but you know the words to this song.
Well, then as he's walking down, he would be not necessarily telepathically doing anything, but kind of like sub-vocalizing to himself, Mother, tell your children not to walk my way. Tell your children not to hear my words. And then just as he's going down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Are you singing that telepathically to
Unjala? No. That's just
hear this soundtrack.
He's keeping that all inside.
Okay.
So that's...
And so Unjala can't pick up that Kiln is recognizing this song, though. That's just Kiln's information.
Unless he's relayed that, you don't know that he's recognizing it.
Yeah, he's not relaying that he understands it, because he's not sure, as you described it, Pruitt. He's not sure that how he knows the words or anything, and that's not something that he wants to get into here.
Yeah,
30 minutes down inside of a pond.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's like singing the words to Du Hast. I mean, you don't know what the words mean. You have a feeling.
It's like when
I
you
know
do
what they mean. It's really bad. It's really bad.
Right, when you sing 99 Set Luftballon, and what part it is in the song, but you're not sure what you're saying except for Captain Kirk.
Exactly. And so it's like that. You don't know how you even learned this song, but you can sing along with it. It's just as you get deeper and deeper and closer and you hear more of it, it's a song, so yeah, and the temperature down here has cooled off remarkably. It's nice and breezy, and it's as you move down Kiln, unless there's anybody would like to make a check or do anything as we keep moving down, it starts to get a little chilly. As Kiln, you get to the point where you're about one revolution from the bottom, right? And as you look down, you can see a portal, a well. You're not really sure. It's right in the center, and it is emitting this deep blue light. But you do notice at this distance there is a figure at the edge of this pool, and that is where the chanting is coming from. Give me a vigilant check because you can see them, but as far as details.
I think that was a success. I think I rolled yes, it was a 1.
Okay, so as you've been passing these chambers of autumn, you notice that the elves are getting up to 5-6 feet tall, right? In their chambers as they get to the bottom. And as you can see the walkway wrap around to the ground, you can tell that as it ends, it still ends in autumn. Probably those elves are close to 7 feet tall. The last few chambers that you're looking across the way where the landing ends. The figure around the pool is hooded. He is hooded in midnight or black robes. You're not quite sure. There is a light glinting off of it, so it's not absorbing all the light emitting from this pool of energy or light. But you're pretty sure he's about 10 feet tall. He's like a pillar. Like you're not sure that you've ever seen someone that has these physical measurements as far as just like a normal person, but they're about 10 feet tall, like a beanpole. And they're just, again, not moving at all, but there is a rhythmic chant and a meter that is coming from this person, unwavering, unbroken.
Without making any sound, he would telepathically communicate to his brother in the group that he found the source of the chant, what he believes to be the source of the chanting. And there is a roughly 10-foot tall individual down here, or 5 Glenn Danzigs.
He'll communicate back. Don't go any further until we meet you. I will inform the rest of the party. We'll be down there as quickly and quietly as possible.
Understood.
And then he'll go back to Honora and Sweetums. Killen's down at the bottom. There's apparently a 10-foot tall figure. Roughly 5 Glenn Danzigs. But we should, if we are to talk to the individual, we should probably do it together.
Yeah, I'm only 4 Glenn Danzigs. That's a little scary.
A whole Glenn Danzig taller than you.
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't give you a Glenn Danzig complex.
I don't even know what that means. I hope not either. Okay, yes, we can go. I don't want to talk to this one with the power of the dancing, but I'll be there if other people do.
In the event that this character seems threatening to you, Sweetums, just do the bushwhackers thing over and over and over again.
The bushwhacker. I'll practice right now.
It's very intimidating. You must assert your dominance.
You got a high step also.
Emma's so confused, but Sweetums understands everything you're saying.
It'll get you into the WWE Hall of Fame somehow. That's legit. They made it.
If we revere Monty Python's Funny Walk sketch, we have to give the Bushwhack brothers their due.
You guys, just to be clear, for the 2 people who are like me, you're talking about wrestling, right? This is a wrestling thing.
Yeah.
How dare you? We're talking about the 2 most popular things ever, Emma, wrestling and Glenn Danzig. Of course, everybody knows what we're talking about.
Cool.
It goes hand in sideburn.
This is
Right,
just
I'm
for
just
the people
messing
in the audience who may not know.
For those of you waking up from a coma that they went into in August of '97, here we are.
So Glenn Danzig is 2 feet tall. That is the unit of measurement which we are decided to use
Two
for 2
full
foot
feet.
increments.
There's universal constants.
Yeah.
Glenn Danzig is 2 feet tall. Smurfs are 3 apples high. All of these things can be used at any point to measure whatever you need.
Wait, Smurfs are 3 apples high?
Yeah, exactly.
That is tall. I didn't think they were that tall. Sorry.
That's half a Glenn Danzig.
I know, right? So two Smurfs in a raincoat equals 1 Glenn Danzig.
In fact, that's the theory. That Glenn Danzig is actually just 2 Smurfs that are really mad.
It's Schrodinger's Smurf. Anyway, so Glenn Danzig is both Glenn Danzig and 2 Smurfs in a trench coat simultaneously.
I need to look up this asshole.
Anyway, August of 97 is when you were born. Thank you, Kiana. Thank you for letting us know yet again how young you are. I graduated in May of 97 from high school. So now I'm old. Anyway.
I thought this was a well-known fact.
I know. I'm just playing it up for drama.
It's when we're old, we forget. We tend to forget.
And everything becomes just more bitter on the palate.
Hey, that song "Time Keeps on Slipping Into the Future" makes more and more sense the older you get.
Yeah, Time in a Bottle. Just listen to it and cry.
Yeah,
the whole time.
Like a Rolling Stone, the Jimi Hendrix version, not the Bob Dylan's good and all, but the Jimi Hendrix Monterey Festival, one of the greatest rock songs ever recorded. Anyway,
hey, I was in a screamo band, so let's not talk about value of youth here.
I don't know what screamo is. I'm going to be honest.
Case in point.
All right, so you're about half a revolution away from being at the bottom here. Everybody has caught up to Kiln. How would y'all like to proceed?
Unless anyone had any objections, we were just going to meet Kiln where he was at, and then come up with something.
No, that's what I'm saying. I brought everybody to that point. You are there with Kiln. You're about a half revolution from the floor. You can see the ramp across that reaches the floor level. What would y'all like to do?
Do we dare interrupt his chanting?
What do we want to do? What's the goal here?
Well, I would like to find out if this individual, what side he is on in terms of the corrupting or the not corrupting side. I would make sense that he would be on the not corruption side. But if not, I need to make this individual aware of the corruption.
Okay. I support you, Unjala.
I will always lean on the side of shooting someone or nailing them to something and then asking questions, perhaps of their corpse. So I will defer to everyone else when it comes to matters of tactics.
I feel like we should not just walk up and interrupt what appears to be a ritual. If we are to get on a good foot.
Question.
Yes.
I don't believe that I called for it earlier, but I don't think anybody gave me any results. If you want to give me a cunning roll.
Nope.
Yeah, I mean, it
2.
seems like he's doing a ritual.
I rolled a 2, if that makes any.
Okay, Kiln. As you're sitting there, like you are now like you like know every word to this song, like every single word, and you know that it is sung a certain amount of times, and then it comes to a conclusion, and you feel the climax of the song, and like it is coming to an end, right? And if y'all don't do anything else for the next few moments, a door opens somewhere below you. You hear the grate of stone on stone It's not a lot. It's fairly smooth, but it's still stone. Grade next to stone, as doors open, light is cast into this room from some other chamber. And did my screen just? What is
Oh,
that?
Police camera. Turn
You are
off.
you are
My-
Colossus.
Am I
my
Colossus?
camera pooped out.
Oh,
Oh no.
No.
oh
I mean,
no.
You can hear.
You're still here.
Oh.
I'm still here, but for some reason, let me do a quick beep boop.
So anyway, I think that's Grant's screensaver picture. I don't mind being Colossus and me being Unjala. Let's kill this guy and ask him where his stuff is. But you see a silhouette enter as a person. You're not quite sure. You can give me a vigilant check to try to make out details, but they look average human size. But they are walking forward, and they are carrying a bundle in their arms. And they walk towards this pool. And as they reach the edge of it, to the right hand of the chanting figure, they sit this person, whoever they are, in the water and withdraw the blankets that they were swaddled in. And you're not quite sure what you're looking at. It's not a baby and it's not a child. It is something in between, in a kind of a metamorphosis state, as they put it in the light of this pool. And the song swells to the ending. And the light in the pool clears. And as you're looking down, y'all can see in the cottage, in a room in a cottage, is what's through this portal. And there is a bed, a small bed with a small child in it. And this figure that is laying in the pool is superimposed on that child. And as the song comes to an end, the pool begins to cloud over with blue light once again, and the child is laying in the pool, still asleep, probably about 2 years old. And the figure who brought it out wraps that child in a blanket. Without word, turns on heel, and walks back to the room that is below you. And the song comes to a close, and the lights in the pool begin to recede. They don't go away completely. They just shimmer under the surface. Then a voice that is both booming and brittle somehow at the same time issues forth. Would you like to join me now that the ritual is done? And the cowled head kind of slightly arcs up towards where y'all are sitting at the, like you're kind of recessed in the shadows, but it looks in your general direction.
We will take your kind invitation. Honora's gonna step up.
Okay. You begin walking down the slope. Okay. So Honora begins walking down the slope, and the figure continues to stand, just stolid, like unmoving, as if a statue. But you can slightly see the cowled head kind of follow Honora's path as she begins to walk around the walkway towards the landing that would bring her to the floor on which she stands.
Killen will follow behind Honora.
Okay.
Oh, sweetums.
Okay. So everybody, including Unjala, I assume, if Killen's going. Okay. So everybody begins to walk down, and Your host, for lack of a better term right now, does not seem bothered by the time it takes. It still takes another couple of minutes for y'all to walk all the way around to the landing, and then from the edge of the wall of this place to the pool in the center. It's a hike. I mean, it's a good couple of 100 feet just to get from there to, and they wait until you approach. And as you do, the figure turns its head towards you and actually kind of turns its shoulders as well, as it kind of shifts its stance away from the pool itself. Its feet remain firm and planted towards the pool. As is, you do notice its right hand is still slightly reaching out. From this angle, you can see under its robes, its hand is reaching out towards the pool. But it's kind of shifted its body language just a bit and opened up towards you. Why do you enter my domain? What do you seek?
Unjala will look at the rest of the party and then at the individual. Look, we seek many things. Oh, tall one. But I personally wanted to see if you were aware of the varying levels of corruption of this domain.
A single bark of what could you assume is laughter escapes. It's the sound of cracking ice. This slight bark of laughter, and it just responds with, "Yes, I have stood against it for almost my entire life, the life of this world."
Has it been growing, receding, or remaining the same?
It has grown. It is infected this world.
Have you done any research into how you may negate its approach?
I have dedicated my life to that very subject. It is all that I strive for. And you can actually hear, like, his voice, if it is a he. You're not even sure on that. Like, it is an androgynous basso, but it actually wavers with a bit of emotion when answering this. It has taken a toll on my people. Drastic measures had to be taken to save them.
Like what?
Like what you just witnessed.
Just so we're on the same page, whenever magic is used, especially the deeper you go into the forest, an individual takes on elements of this.
Yes. You are touching its will, the corruption. You are using it, but it is using you. You give it life. Every spell cast, every artifact used, every ritual completed brings it further and further to the surface, further and closer to awakening.
I would like to share a curious mind, such as myself, has dabbled in such things. But I know a magic user that nearly succumbed fully to the corruption. But in the heat of the moment, I witnessed that it was able to be absorbed by another entity
Yes.
and mitigated with one individual who is proficient in such things.
And at the end of your question, the person turns and looks at you, Unjala, and give me a resolute roll, and just tell me what you get.
I fail. I get a 17 out of 15. Unless this has something to do with spirits and communicating, then I pass.
It does and it doesn't, but it's not a, you can tell this entity looks at you and looks through you and everything that you've experienced, everything that you have ever known or done. And it looks at it as if it's speed reading a book. And then it says, you were able to save her. And it kind of tilts its head at Honora. You dispersed the effects at the last moment, but every person that does succumb to the blight, I believe you call it, they give rise to new nightmares. And those nightmares work to wake it, to bring this will, this corruption, to life. And then he fully looks at you, Honora, and says, be thankful that he took that risk.
The risk is something that I always know about.
Master, what would you like me to call you? I am unfamiliar.
I am the last thaw.
Sorry, one more time. I have the air conditioning on.
Not for long, because I am the last thaw.
Oh. Well, last thaw. In this perhaps community, do you have witches in your employ?
We have those that can manipulate the energies that flow through this place, yes. But I have all but forbade them from using their magics until absolutely necessary. For like I said, every thrum on the web wakes the spider. Slowly, but surely. And now that you are down here, you do feel like, and you start to see frost coming out of as you speak. And you notice that the temperature down here is not freezing, but it's almost there.
And you're certain that this may be the source?
The source. It is a tale for another day, but the quick version. You know the Symbaroum people that used to rule these lands where the Davokar now exists. Let's just say they agreed to keep something at the behest of travelers from a far realm. They believed in their arrogance that their magics were mighty, for this land is at the confluence of ley lines. You know what ley lines are, yes? But this land is interspersed intercrossed, interconnected with them, as if a knot that ties this world together with magic. And they thought in their arrogance that they could keep this entity. They were wrong. It brought their empire low. And since that day, I've worked to expunge this corruption some 4,000 years ago. And at that, you can hear just like... Honora, I assume that you spend a lot of time alone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a note of loneliness that resonates with you as they finish that sentence. But yes, I am the last of the elves that could achieve their final transition. I am the last winter elf. And now more and more elves do not retain enough magic to change seasons, and the order is falling apart. Summer bows. Damn it, I messed it up. Spring submits to summer, and summer bows to fall. And the autumn leaves lay down their lives at the winter's beck and call. It is the way it has always been. Until now. So young fairies that have not the magic to become elflings. And he starts to get choked up at this. We found that we could use them to exchange them, imprint them with humans, that they may live at all, lest they die. And at that, he kind of wraps a staff that you didn't realize was hidden under his robes, and doors in front, behind, on either side open up, and you see chambers beyond, full of these blue pods with these small dwarfed figures in every one of them, rows and rows that go back beyond the light of the room itself into the darkness.
Unjala will glance back at Kiln and try to perceive an emotion or a reaction.
Kiln is completely silent. And he's fallen into his hood. You know, he's just as deep in its shadow as Pruitt will let me be.
Telepathically, Unjala will ask, "Are you okay, brother?"
Yeah, there's no answer.
And he'll turn to the last thaw. What is your purpose? These lives that you imprint human society with and on. What are theirs to you?
What becomes of the humans that we take? Is that your question?
Amongst other questions.
Well, we do this so that our children might have some chance at life. The children that we take are educated, told of their station, their standing, their origin, and they are trained as ambassadors, as spies, as soldiers, whatever befits their skill set. We care for them as they are our own, for they are our burden.
And what of the ones you exchange? You care for them and love them, yes?
And he kind of like looks like his hood slightly tilts towards Kiln. Ask him.
I did.
Here he is, alive. At least a chance at a life.
For the first time, Kiln will say something directly to the last thaw, but it's more of a question that he's asked himself too many times and really doesn't have a being that it's directed to, but he'll ask it anyway in the presence of the last thaw. What lies to the north, beyond the forest?
Our last stand, it would seem. All of the elven hosts, all of our changeling allies have all been recalled to the last hold, far north. That is one of the strongest concentrations of ley lines. It is a likely breakpoint for whatever this corruption is. And you see him strain at that, and his hand starts to shake a bit.
Are you in pain? Asked Thaw.
No, I am concentrating on 3 spells right now while talking to you, and it is becoming difficult to hold back the corruption while searching for a weakness.
A weakness in what?
In our defenses, there were a series of gates set up to contain this corruption, this entity, a prison. And over the years of study, I have discovered if we turn them off in a certain sequence, that we can expunge this corruption back to whence it came, thus ridding the world and all of us from this. Magic will flow freely once again. There will be no need for the exchange of our children as they can grow, change seasons as they are supposed to. This has been my goal my entire life. Will you help me?
I cannot speak for everyone else, but where do you need us?
When I find, and his voice strains again, and he shudders a bit. He doesn't fall, but you see him take a step back, and the pool that you are standing next to, where it was very subdued from before when the ritual was taking place, it flares up again, but not with a blue light. A purple hue begins to bleed into that light, and you can see with his breath, as he exhales, you can see that light being pushed away, and then it always doubles back, and it is as if his sheer will is keeping it from entering this place, but it looks like it is trying to make its way through this portal. And when he shudders, also, you begin to hear footsteps from the same doorway that whoever it was brought in the child and exchanged it for the human. As these quick footsteps make their way to the last thaw's side. Give me a quick vigilant there, Unjala and Kiln.
9, vigilance of 15.
Mm-hmm.
I rolled a 20, which isn't good.
Whether it's pure shock, Kiln, that refuses you to accept what you're looking at, Unjala, without a doubt, you look at this person who runs in, and they are human. They're dressed in fine clothes, boiled leather, duelist sword at their side, but they're not big, but they are definitely agile. They have a grace about them. and their face is that of Kiln's. Without the sharp lines of a changeling, without the markings of a changeling. But if Kiln was human, this would be him. Master, please. And the last Thaw, like, puts his hand on this man's shoulder as he helps him stay standing.
Who is this?
Jolly, you would hear in your mind, your brother.
Perhaps by, and then also as a reply in his mind, perhaps by blood, not choice.
The man looks up, makes eye contact with you, Unjala, and the eyes don't lie. You feel a shot through you, a familiarity of brotherhood. But then the eyes shift to you, Kiln, and there's that same feeling. There's that same warmth in his eyes as he looks at you, and a smile spreads across his face. Brothers, I have often wanted. I don't even know what to say. It is good to see you. Finally.
It is good to see you. I would like to know you.
That would be nice. That would. Were the times not as hectic as these. Should there be a tomorrow for drinks and banter, I would very much like to get to know you as well. Both of you.
How needed are you here?
I am the last Thaw's attaché. I attend to him, remind him what century it is, that sort of thing. But
And there are no others to do such things.
Well, we do it until we grow tired of it, and then he is assigned another. It's my choice. I find the work fulfilling. I get to care for what I consider my brothers, as he kind of looks around at the chambers that surround you, which now, without a doubt, are just full of changelings. They are full of elves that have not had the magic to continue their transition, and so they wait in stasis to be transplanted, so to speak. I tend to the catacombs here, and I feel that I'm helping in my own way.
You are. An honorable job. Says Kiln. Greg would like to know what I roll to detect bullshit.
That would be a vigilant versus their discreet.
Yeah, let's do that.
You're going to get a +3 from his genial and genuine nature.
I still somehow roll a 19.
You're still suspicious. Like, he's very convincing as far as earnesty and like candor is. He's good if he's lying.
I can't believe that face.
What?
Huh?
What do you call down here? Do you have a name like the first Thaw?
No, I'm Kevin. Thought that'd be a nice icebreaker.
Kevin. Okay. How did I end up with Unjala? Which is a name I had given myself.
Well, they gave me a list of human names for the ages and let me pick when I got to a certain age. And I liked the sound of it. Kevin. strong.
What did they teach you about strength down here?
Well, it is to be used when necessary, but never used to overwhelm others.
He'll look, briefly look at the last thaw and be like, pardon a moment while I get familiar with apparently my blood brother.
Yes.
Kevin, what is it you consider your skills?
Well, I'm pretty handy with a blade. I've been shown both the basket of rapiers, the solo stance, and the twin blade. Yes, I don't know. I like to stay on the ground, and I like my blades.
And how do you use your skills with the blade to help your incubating brethren?
Well, I protect this place.
And how often do threats come down here?
Well, we get the odd wormwood weasel, things burrowing through the ground. Giant centipede one time. That was fun.
He looks at the last thaw. Is he familiar with these gates you speak of?
Yes. He has been beyond. He has been north. He has been to the elven homeland.
Well,
I
Kevin?
chose him as my attaché, and he accepted. That was about a decade ago.
What greater purpose, Kevin, could you serve this place than to help rid it of the corruption?
Well, I keep my master safe so he can do his job. That is what I have done. He is busy. As he kind of looks at the last thaw, who's literally just standing there, hand extended.
Unjalo looks at the last thaw. Also, sorry for dominating everyone's time, but he looks at the last thaw and I want to try something. May I borrow your hand?
You're asking the last thaw?
Yeah.
He considers that for a moment. Then he takes his staff and he shifts it to rest in the crook of his right arm. And then he extends his left hand, which the digits are just, the proportions of him are kind of off-putting. And so he extends these insanely long digits towards you and offers you his hand.
And I want to try to softly place both hands on his hand and cast Inherit Wounds to see if I can draw some sort of at least negative energy from the last thaw.
Okay, so two things happen simultaneously. He rips his hand away from you as you begin to feel a piercing spike of just like an icicle runs into your palm, up your arm. It makes it past your elbow towards your shoulder. And he kind of like looks at you. So I'm going to need a resolute roll. And that's going to be at a -5.
9.
So you barely pass. You are going to take 1 point of damage and roll a d6.
That's a 6. Well, you can't see with the green screen, but yeah, that's a 6.
Okay. So you're going to take 6 corruption. Are you okay?
Is that temp or perm?
It's temporary.
Yeah, I'm good.
Did you pass your threshold, your corruption threshold? You're halfway.
So that's with the witch sight. That's 1. That's 7, and then that still takes me under because my resolute is 15.
Okay, so you haven't crossed that yet.
Yeah.
You can feel it though. You can feel that corruption stirring beneath your skin, and actually, Normally, you wouldn't see any sign of it, but it kind of flits around you with your breath. The fog of your breath kind of becomes these tendrils that wrap around you, and for a moment, everyone can see the corruption kind of around Unjala. And the last Thal like looks at you and has a tone of admonishment, like a parent, like scolding a child. It's like, have you listened to nothing I said?
He was attempting to help.
I understand that. An abomination in this house could unmake this place. I might not be strong enough to beat it back. And then all of my brothers, my sisters, my children, my nieces, my cousins, everyone dies. And then the world.
I will ask again. Which portal requires us? Or is the last hold under siege?
A moment. And he extends his hand out. And you can actually see his lips chanting in the light as it flares up. You see his pale skin, his lips are a light blue frost jetting out softly with each utterance of a syllable. And then a small smile kind of cracks, and he's like, the ruined city of Odaban. That is where you are needed. Yes, it is moving. It is en route to the last hold. I had planned on taking on this essence at the sacrifice of some here, should it breach. But if you would go in my stead, I would reward you.
To the last hold. North.
Is that what you wish your reward to be?
Yes.
Well, then you shall see it. If tomorrow the sun rises and we have won the day, the last hold shall be yours. And what of you, Spirit Caller? What do you wish?
I seek balance in all things. The greatest source of balance I have ever been able to accomplish has always been in the close proximity of my brother, my choice brother.
Well, then to restore the balance between choice and blood. He looks over. Kevin, you shall accompany them on this journey. You will have a brother at each side, and thus balance will be restored. And you, sorcerer. She who carries another. And he kind of like tilts his head as he looks at you in like another time.
So there actually is someone else with me.
Yes. And he kind of raises that. He still has his staff in the crook of his right arm, and he kind of raises a long digit and points at your necklace and says, "Yes, there is one bound to this,
Motherfucker.
and to you. What do you wish more than anything?"
More than anything. I suppose it'd be simple enough. Just. And looks down at the necklace for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Just enough power so that nothing could ever hurt me.
Very well. Should we survive this, I will teach you. I will give you 5 seasons of my time.
She will incline her head again for a second, just glaring at the necklace.
Oh, Monk, I know. It's rough. It's rough having a bowl full of food. And with that, he turns towards... You have been quiet up until now. What do you desire?
Me?
Yes.
I want Mama Benny to have a house that's big enough for me to stay there all the time. And I want all of my friends to stop dying, because no offense, you guys, but it's happened to me many, many times before. And I like you all, and I'd like you to keep living. Because that's what happens is I make friends and and I try to protect them, and then they die, and it's sad. And
Yes.
you know, like, and I'd like a comfy chair in the house that's just for me.
A home and health. And a place to
Yes.
rest your head.
Mostly, and yeah, I want to have dessert whenever I want.
All right. I'll have to speak with Mama Banny about this, but I'm sure she will be amenable. And, well, first to the health. And he waves a hand, and a small precipitation begins to fall of snowflakes upon everybody. And as they touch your skin, it invigorates you with cold energy. And anyone who has wounds right now, they are healed completely. Anyone who has corruption, whether it be temporary or permanent, give me a D4 roll.
That makes sense. 1.
3. That is how much corruption is removed from your total. Start with permanent.
Yeah, makes perfect sense.
Mm-hmm. So, well, with that in order, I should warn you. The ruined city of Odaban was not ruined, it was just toppled. Mighty magics allow the city itself to roam about, and it has begun roaming. You must find the nexus at its heart, and you must tear it out. You will know it when you see it. It will look like branches or the roots coming seemingly out of nowhere to form its beating heart. If you destroy this, you will destroy the city and cut off the corruption from its foothold in reality. But I should warn you, it will be harrowing. This will defend itself. It is strong. But be vigilant, and you will succeed. Are you ready? And with that, he just waits for one nod, and he begins to mutter an incantation. You see sweat kind of form at his brow and his lips as the lights swell from the portal itself. And an image resolves into focus. That of a landing or like a patio, like a second or third layer to a house. What it looks like. You're kind of peering through some tall, like Corinthian columns, and there's a stone banister. But you look out on the double car, and it's slowly moving as you see this image. Please step through, find the heart, and rip it out before it reaches the last hold, or I fear what it may do to my people, my brothers, and yours. And at that last, yours, he looks pointedly at Kiln.
Kiln would pull out 3 arrows, put them between 4, middle, ring, and pinky, and pull his bow out with the left hand and jump through him.
Okay, so Kiln just hops through the portal. Everyone else following suit.
Unjala would quickly go next.
And right after Unjala, Kevin hops through, drawing his blade, his rapier, his jewel-encrusted rapier, the pommel glistening with fine elven craftsmanship. And he lets out a little huzzah as he jumps through.
Sweetums puts his clothes back on first, and then he goes into the portal. Seems chilly there.
Yeah, it's a little cold here. Okay. And with that, Honora, you're the last one. As the last thaw is looking upon you.
Yeah. Just go take the necklace off
Mm-hmm.
and hands it over to the last thaw.
And he takes it in his hand and he says, "Would you like me to keep this or destroy it?"
I don't think I'll be needing it if this all goes through.
Very well. I will add it to my collection, my apprentice.
And she'll smile and she'll wave to the pendant.
Mm-hmm. The pendant somehow glints in anger at you.
Yeah. Asshole.
You can feel like hate coming from it,
yeah.
but it just can't reach out with it. You just feel it like seething.
Yeah. She'll just smile and you go right through.
Okay, you hop through and you join the others on this patio, this landing, overlooking Davokar. And as you look up, a towering titan is above you. You would think that you were somewhere on its thigh. You're not sure the height completely, but the grinding of stone and the screeching of metal create the groan of a living thing lumbering through the forest. What you do know is the tops of the trees of Davokar only reach this thing's knees, as it is a collection of buildings, somehow glommed together by magic and sorcery into a walking fortress as it plunges ever north, tearing limbs, ripping trees from their roots, and a never-ending pace north. And that is where we will close today on Symbaroum, Eyes in the Dark. Woot woot. All right, let's get around to cast and crew right quick because that went a little bit long. I didn't mean to do that. But let's go around to cast and crew, see how you liked it, and what are your quick thoughts before going into the final. We'll do a reverse order like always. Greg, how was that?
Oh, I loved it, buddy. I loved it. I actually took a lot of notes to make sure that I understood exactly what we need to do with the ruined city and take out its beating heart. But I can't get over the fact that as soon as you mentioned Kevin, all I could think of was Peter from Deadpool 2, who showed up because of the LinkedIn ad. And that's what I'm going to picture as Kevin, just the normal guy, members only jacket, ready to rock and roll. I love it. Grimjack21502 on the Twitter, Tales from the Grim on the Twitch. Join me here, join me there, but make sure you join me next Tuesday here on WebDM as we finish this lovely tale. I cannot wait. Back to you, buddy.
Awesome. Next up, Kiana. You finally ridded yourself of Rio.
Yeah, thank God. I wasn't sure if it was just my brain or whatever, or the corruption. No, he was just Be an asshole. That's what he was.
Yeah,
Like attracts like in this.
that's what he does. That's what
Yeah.
he does. I didn't get to use my favorite pun that I thought of when I first thought of his name, but that's okay.
You'll have to tell me offline. But yeah, this was fun. I'm super excited to see what we do. Honora she has what would dangle in front of her, and that's all she wants in life. So she'll
Mhm.
go and do things, even though it means maybe cutting off her one source of power right now. So yeah, we'll see. It's cool. It's fine. But yeah, it's fun. Y'all can find me over on Twitter at KennaS. Best way to figure out what I'm doing. Come on the internet, do all sorts of role playing things, whether that's streaming, writing, whether shouting to the void. The one thing that I want to shout out is that this Saturday at 3:30 p.m. EST, I am running a special one shot for Asian Heritage Month. It is called We Built the City. It is by Lady Blackbird Hack. That is cyberpunk. It's the first time that system's ever going to be used, so I'm a little terrified. And I have really awesome all Asian American cast, and also a huge giveaway of a whole bunch of stuff from Asian American creators in the TTRPG space. And all of the donations will be going to charity, to the Asian American Legal Defense Fund, which helps to support any cases to help justice for any Asian Americans, which is incredibly important around this time as the rise of violence and hatred has risen a lot. So really excited to do that. So please come over to Salty Sweet Games on Saturday and help support that.
Mhm. Most definitely. Billy.
Hey, man, this is great. I'm biting into a beefy ribeye in terms of RPG sessions. This was awesome.
Yeah, that's why I was like, can we do 2? Because there's going to be some exposition, and I want there to be like adventure also. So we got all that out of the way. Now let's have some fun in the finale. So
No, hey, that's all good, and like Unjala's still on brand in terms of having a theory in his head and challenging whatever the authority is into whatever his theory might be, to see if it'll fit. So, sorry for almost corrupting the source of this beautifulness, but there was things that Unjala had to see. Yeah, this was a fucking hoot. If you like Twitter and internets, you can follow me on Twitter at Bill of the Forest, where I don't do anything nearly as impactful as Kiana. But what I do is a Witcher game on Tales from the Grim Wednesday evenings at 8 p.m., which is awesome. It's an awesome system. It's beautifully crunchy in the way that bloodthirsty MFers will enjoy. It's a magnificent system. And for anybody looking for an awesome D&D alternative, there it is, motherfuckers. Pick it up. Yeah, I don't know. I can't say more good stuff about this whole crew. And it just is a privilege to play and be around all of you awesome people.
yes, most definitely. And Emma had to deal with child troubles. Hope all is well with that. But just want to, before we get out of here, want to say, everybody be safe out there. And Kiana, that cause is absolutely amazing, because in this time, ignorance and stupidity and the indifference of good men will only lead to the spread of evil. So much like in this game, in real life, when you see something that needs to be dealt with, you should be a good person and do what is right and not just stand idly by. So go out there, be kind to each other, but be safe. And I hope you come back next week for the finale. And may the dice ever roll in your favor.